quite bouillabaisse à la Marseille, but we have a nice fish, fresh fish, using sea bass. What could be better than all these ingredients? Green pepper, onion, saffron, carrots, garlic, fish stock, tomato. Did I say celery? Some white wine and cornstarch at the end, just to give it a little body. Everything here is like not a big deal. The most difficult part is making the fish stock. If you don't know how to make it, I have a recipe. And there's really no substitute for a fish stock, since this is a fish soup. And the fillet of fish doesn't give off enough flavor. So you need fish stock. So let's begin. First thing to do is sweat up all the vegetables. It really doesn't matter about the size. It's your preference. They could be smaller, they could be larger. It's not going to affect the taste of this soup. Moderate flame. Well, this is sweating up a little bit. We're going to add the saffron to get the full flavor out of it. And I'm going to start off with about a teaspoon of the thread, just like so. I'm guessing that should be enough. I can smell the saffron already. Okay, that's not enough, I can tell. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons. That's a good amount, but you know what? I love the flavor of saffron, so why be cheap with it? And the tomatoes going to go in there. And the last thing I'm going to add is the white wine. Actually, the last thing that goes in here, after everything is seasoned and tasted, is of course the fish. And why? Well, vegetables, all of this takes much longer to draw the flavors out in the stock. By the time that happens, the fish will disintegrate. I'm using dry thyme, an excellent brand because it's so fresh. Put this next to some fresh thyme. Most people couldn't tell the difference. I don't even think major kitchens use this quality of dried stuff. La, la, la. Boy, does that smell good. And instead of using all onions, could have used half onions and half leeks, which I would have preferred, but I didn't have any laying around. My leek garden has been depleted. Okay. Now we'll get the white wine in there. That saffron smells good. About a half a cup of dry white. And not cheap stuff either, please. Leave the cheap stuff for the guys that walk around the city streets. But for cooking, use a decent wine. For most cooking, it's going to be dry. Maybe sweet if you're making some type of dessert sauce. This is, you should be here to smell this. Now all I have to do is add the stock. Which is the stock that came from the sea bass. It's a nice flavor. Nice and smooth and light, not all that strong. You know, sometimes a fish stock can be very strong. So not every fish makes a good fish stock. I'll give you an example of one that doesn't, and that's bluefish. Okay, now we're going to let this boil, simmer for about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to cut up, skin the fish, dice it up, and then we'll add it later. This soup is giving off such a pleasant aroma throughout the house. You know, I don't know if it's because the fish was just fresh, the stock is very fresh, or the sea bass is just a good fish to use for this. It's time to put the fish in. The carrots are tender, so I cubed everything. Turn the flame up. This will only take a few minutes. Fish cooks very quickly, small pieces, plus it's in liquid. And I'll get the cornstarch ready. So we'll let this come to a boil, and after about 2 minutes I'll add the cornstarch, and then that's it. I already seasoned it with salt and pepper. I'm going to put a little more salt in there. Okay, it's time to add the cornstarch. So you mix like equal amounts of cornstarch and water, so it looks like this. And you slowly add it, stirring. And we're not making something very thick. We're just putting this in there so everything notice we want all the vegetables to stay where they are without sinking, and that's it. Okay, we are done. You know, a nice piece of French bread, garlic bread. A few slices of that. This in a bowl. Maybe a little rice thrown in with it. Complete dinner. This is one of the smoothest ones I've ever made. And I'm sure it's because of the freshness of the fish, the bones, and the fish itself is a tasty, the sea bass. Very nice. Hope you enjoy it too.